Hey, 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 what's going on, people? How are you? How are you? How are you? I am Big Meach, and this is a Big Meach moment. Now, usually I try not to come on this early or whatever. However, normally when I get epiphanies and revelations and stuff like this, I usually write them down, you know, and try to flush them out completely so that I'm hearing a perfect thought. However, my spirit is moving me, and it's rocking and rolling with me, honey. So I'm about to drop something, hopefully, that will inspire you to think, that will inspire you to open your consciousness to something that would allow you to expand the ideas. Okay. And it happened just briefly and recently because I was looking at a photo, and the question was, how are you asking me what am I bringing to the table when I am the table? Okay. And all of a sudden, that started to wrestle in my spirit because I know many of us, we want to have the upper hand in a lot of things because we could care for ourselves. We're independent or interdependent, depending on what your mind frame is. Oftentimes, people like to ask that question because they want to get into your pockets to see what it is that you got to offer, what you have to offer, what you bring to the table, kind of thing. And oftentimes, people who ask that question either have been hurt, abused, have been thrown away, and just tow it with and carrying on. And then there are some who ask that question because they want to get into your pockets. They want to see what you're bringing, what you have to offer, what is significant for them, what they can get out of it. However, what was stirring in my spirit about that particular statement is, what if you're coming to the table, or you saying that you are the table, and somebody else is saying, well, I'm the table too? So what do we have here? Do we just have two people with two tables, or what? What is the giving? What is the give and exchange here? What's the give and take? How are we helping one another? If we're coming to this in a situation of partnership, whether it is romantic, whether it is platonic, whether it's business, or whatever the case may be, if we're coming into this, then what is it that is going to be the give and take exchange that both parties or all parties involved are going to receive something out of it? If you're coming to the table and you're saying, no, I am the table, and I'm saying, well, I'm the table too, well, that means nobody is the chair, nobody is the napkins, nobody is the utensils, nobody is the plates, and nobody the cups of this, that, and the other, and not to mention the food. Who's preparing the food? You know what I'm saying? And see, let me break this down a little bit, because oftentimes a lot of folks want to know what you're going to put on the table. Okay, if you're going to supply the meal, if you're going to supply the beverages or libations or whatever the case may be. But let's look at a table. What is all involved with the table? Okay, because sometimes you may not be the table, but you may be bringing a chair that's going to bring stability and comfort to say, I'm here, I'm able to sit here, and I belong here at this table because what I have to offer says that I'm in the right space at the right time, and I'm comfortable in my surroundings. I'm able to maneuver, I'm able to pinpoint, I'm able to sit down and have opinions at this conversation. Sometimes you may not be the table or the chair. You might be the utensils. Okay, so that you could dig in and cut up and break stuff down in order to get digestible pieces so that everybody can palate. Okay, you may not be the utensil, honey. You may be the plate where you're gonna hold everything together. I may be the one that I'm here so you can rest all of the meal here. I'm here to say I'm the rock and the stability here to say that we're going to have a beautiful presentation. I'm able to hold what's being offered. It's not going to be some flimsy ass little paper plate or whatever that's not going to be worth anything. I may not be China, but I'm not going to be loose either to where I don't know how to handle what's presented to me. You understand? You may not be the plate, you may be the cup, okay, that's going to handle the libation. Okay. And I'm here to say, okay, either the cup is half full or half empty. Okay. I'm the cup that's probably going to be the barometer that's going to set the tone, because depending on who's drinking from that cup, whether it is libations or any form of libation, who can hold their liquor and who can't. Loose lips sink ships. The cup is going to be representative of that, so that you know what you got around you at the table. See, all the time we're so busy worried about, oh, I am the table, I am the table. Okay, but we forget about all the other things that make the table. Okay, what if you're not the cup? What if you're not the plate? What if you're not the utensils? What if you're not the chair? What if you're not the table? What if you are the main course itself? What if you are the meal? What if you are the one who comes? I may not be the table, but I'm being served on the table, honey. I'm the one who's giving out the resources. I'm the one that's there to sit and say, hey, this is here what's going to help you this is going to nourish you. This is going to flourish you. This is going to fortify you. This is going to help sustain you. This is going to take you into places that you never thought that you can go. Okay, maybe you're that particular piece of the table. Okay, and maybe you don't know your power. Oftentimes, we don't know where our power is, in that we don't know our positioning. Okay, oftentimes, some folks may have enough chairs to go around the table. Okay, sometimes you get folks there and they say there's room at the table. You know what I mean? Oh, come on, honey, there's room at the table. There's always room at the table. I know I say that a lot. But oftentimes, why is there room at the table? And this hit me in my spirit, honey, like, oh, because oftentimes we have to play rise and fly. Not everybody who sits at your table are supposed to sit there and remain there. Once they finish, they have to excuse themselves and go dip. So there's another seat for somebody else. You understand? Oftentimes, when folks get around your table and you get to see in their table manners, how they handle the situation at hand, how they interact with those who are around the table. Sometimes you have to excuse them. Sometimes they have to excuse themselves, and it's a rise and fly. Okay. Sometimes they may not be there to be the table. Maybe they might be the servers. You understand? Sometimes who you invite to that table, they may be the servers to make sure that you are getting everything that you need, to make sure that your body and you and your guests are receiving the right kinds of sustenance that you have prepared, that everything is laid out and going according to plan, that everything is smooth, it runs smoothly like the machine that you are. See, oftentimes when we talk about that table, yeah, I know this is getting kind of deep, and some of you may be looking at me and be like, bitch, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm telling you, this came to me in spirit. And oftentimes when we look at that table, I think these are some of the things that we forget about because we're so busy wondering what other folks are going to do. Or better yet, we got so headstrong into what I did. I done made this and I done built this and I done. And that's lovely. Nobody taking anything from that straight. What it is that we have to look at that table and realize that there are more positions at the table than just the table itself and what somebody's going to bring to it. You understand? Because oftentimes you have to make sure it's just like going to the cookout. Not everybody can come to that table, honey, and put a dish on that table, can they? Because we don't eat everybody's potato salad, do we? We don't eat everybody's macaroni and cheese, do we? Okay? Lord knows y'all ain't eating no chitlins. Okay? So when you talk about what you bring to the table, or because you are the table, then let's look at what that means and why that's significant. Because not everybody is worthy of that table. Not everybody. And you learn that when you're interaction, when you're sitting down with folks at the table and realize what their contributions are, when you realize that, okay, what you thought it once was may never be, you got to play rise and fly. They got to get up so that somebody else who come in that you invited over have a seat at the table. Because what happens, this is twofold. The person that you done invited over will come over and think that, oh, there's no room at this table for me. Okay, I guess you didn't want me. So what they would do, they would go and build their table elsewhere. See, they'll build a table elsewhere, and then you may have missed out on a blessing. You may have missed out on a lucrative opportunity. Okay. Whether it is financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, something that's going to touch you and enrich you. So this is why we have to play that rise and fly every now and again, because there's some people who you've invited to that table who sit down there and show you the world, honey. They showed you that they could do any and everything, or at least they presented that to them. They presented out and gave you a wonderful package. But when it comes time to deliver, mm, then you say, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. This ain't what I thought it was. And it's okay. It's okay. It's just that now honey, you got to revoke that invitation, rise and fly. Just like playing spades or whatever. When you got everybody who want to play cards and you got your partners there, what you do? You play rise and fly, honey. Okay, we sit down. Whoever wins, stay at the table. Whoever loses, got to get up and go so everybody can sit down, right? Same thing here. When you're going to get somebody at that table and you want to know what do you bring to the table, remember that there's many different facets of that place setting. Sometimes folks are the napkins. They're the cleanup people, honey. And you need a good cleanup, don't you? Somebody's going to come in and know how to clean up the mess that was made to get everything right back together and in shape. Sometimes your contribution may be the compliment. Every now and again, honey, your contribution may be the compliment. You may need to sit down there and let somebody know and encourage them to let them know they're going in the right direction. You may have to stroke their egos and be their cheerleaders and be, the ones that say, yes, you can do this. Yes, we believe in you. Yes, you got this. Yes, we believe in it. And be sincere, not just yes men. You may be the ones, honey, who are the cheerleaders and actually can have an end like, you know what? That may not work. Maybe if you tweak this and do this, and we can go here, but I know you got this. Okay? You may be that person. That may be your contribution of what you're bringing to the table. You understand? Oftentimes, we forget about those particular things. You may be not just a napkin and not just a server, but maybe you are on cleanup duty, period. Maybe you're the ones who collect all the dishes and stuff afterwards to go to the kitchen, to another part of the company, and you're cleaning up the kitchen and carrying on, and you making sure that this person has their adequate rest, that this person who presented the table, that they get what they need to sustain themselves for the next go round. We'll take care of this. We got your back. See, that support system, the support system, the behind the scenes support system is just as important as what was on the table. It's just as important, because after they clean the kitchen, then they're going to come out, they're going to repolish the table to make everything look nice and shiny, and this, that, and the other, and give it the integrity that you have taken so much of your time and all of the hard work to build. Your support system is what's going to sustain you while you're building your dynasty, your empire, your legacy. You understand? So that there is something that is just dropped in my spirit. But I think the biggest thing is that rise and fly. Because every so often, honey, you got to revoke an invitation to bring in a new invitation. Because every time, there are moments where there are times when you thought you had the right somebody at that table, and just based on their conversation, based on their interaction, based on their facial expressions, what they say and what they don't say, based on how they move with other people, you realize, oh no, you're not the one I need for this venture. This is not a best fit for you, not in my company, or not at this particular table. You see what I mean? Oftentimes, and this may sound petty as hell, but if we look at how we take so much time in doing a seating chart, when we're doing arranging weddings and carrying on, when you're doing the seating chart of the table of your life, you need to be just as meticulous as that. Know who to sit by who. Know who's going to bring what to the table. I know this child always comes. She got chairs in the back seat. Okay, if this is standing room only, I know my sister gonna come because she got my back. She gonna bring other chairs. Okay, I know if it wasn't enough food, I know my caterer friend over here, honey, got something in the wings for me. If I say, listen, baby, can we go? I know this one got that. But it's more than just what they can do. It's also how they interact with everybody else in your life. because they may still be a part of your life, but you learn who you can and cannot have in certain circles together. Yeah, this matchup ain't gonna match like this, so we got to do something differently. So I said all that to say, yeah, that's what dropped in my spirit today about what it is to be at that table. If you're at the table or what you can bring to the table is one thing. If you proclaiming that you are the table, then honey, if you're the table, then that means what are you expecting everybody else to do? Because there's many facets to that table. Some of y'all might be the china cabinet. Okay. And y'all know what the china cabinet does, honey. You stand back and you collect all the pretty dishes and you're there to what? Showcase and show off and look pretty. Okay. And you have to be cleansed every now and again because you get what? Dusty. The dust collects because you're only there to look pretty. I want you to think about that. How many of y'all are just the dime pieces or just the pretty addition to somebody in somebody's life? Huh? Not that that's a bad thing. If you know how to work it, honey, you know how to work it. But let's look at that. How many of y'all got friends like that in your life that they're only in your life because you know that they're pretty and they make you look good? Huh? Hmm. Yeah, that's deep, ain't it? That's real deep. So yeah, when we talk about this table, there's many aspects to this table. Okay. Some of y'all just might be the vacuum because you got to vacuum up the rug or the carpet. How about that? You sitting in the corner waiting for your turn. Okay, or in the closet somewhere. Okay, pun intended. Okay, that way you could come out and be yourself at that particular moment when it's all quiet and carrying on. And you could be you and do your job and things of that. And then you get put right back in the closet once you're done. Huh? Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That's hitting me in my crawl, honey. But we have to look at that. When you're looking at that table, and you say, I am the table, who's your chairs? Okay, who are your chairs? Who are your leaflets? Because sometimes you got to elongate the table, honey. You got enough leaflets? Hmm. Okay. How many of you are the tablecloths? How many of you are the placemats at the table? Hmm? So that nothing scuffs the table. You're there to be a buffer, so that the whatever spills over don't wreck the table and don't ruin the foundation. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Okay. You're there to take the hit. See, those of you who are tablecloths and place setters and napkins, you are there to take the dirt. That's what your job is. Your job is to collect the dirt. You're there to handle it so that the table don't get fucked up, so that we don't get any scratches and blemishes. Why? Because you keep the table together, don't you? You keep it looking nice and pretty. But the tablecloths, what? They get starched, they get pressed, because they got to remain pretty too, don't they? They take all the dirt, but they got to be washed and remain pretty too, don't they? Mm. The napkins got to be nice and pressed, and nice linen napkins to look good. Keep their shine. Okay. Mm. That's deep, ain't it? I'm telling you. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. I'm giving it to y'all because that's what was given to me. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave y'all with that, honey, because I feel myself rambling. But yeah, let's look at that. What do you bring to the table? And if you are the table, honey, what are the attributes to your table setting? Mm, what goes along with your setting? Mm, that there is that, honey. I'm Big Meach, and this is a Big Meach moment. I hope that encouraged somebody. Thank you.